Thanks for tuning in. I'm Donnie, and in this video, I'm going to talk about my helmet cam setup. I get a lot of questions about the camera I use, the settings I use, where I mount the camera, as well as how I mount the camera on the helmet. So I'm going to cover all that in this video. First of all, I'm not a camera or video expert. Everything I know about cameras and videos I've learned over the years through trial and error while making content for this channel. I know there are a lot of opinions on what camera settings are best and where's the best place to mount a camera, and none of them are wrong, it's just a matter of preference. I'm currently using the GoPro Hero 9 Black. This is my favorite camera I've had so far. The Hero 9 has a much larger battery capacity than the previous generations of GoPros, and this camera actually allows me to do a lot more 4K video than I used to do. I did buy a Hero 10 Black when they first came out. I did not have a good experience with it. I had problems with it overheating when I was trying to record in 4K. I ended up returning that camera to GoPro, but I'm still extremely happy with my GoPro Hero 9. I'll put a link in the video description where I talked about more details of the problems I was having with the Hero 10 Black. So here are my video settings for my Hero 9 Black. I record in 4K resolution in 30 frames per second in Super View with Hyper Smooth on. All of the video settings are the default. That's it. Now when I'm riding and racing, I want to get the best video that I can get, and I want the battery to last as long as it can possibly last. So I've got some settings that really help with the battery life, and I'll share those. First thing is I always use Quick Capture. Quick Capture is the feature on cameras that allows you to press the record button once, and the camera will power on and start recording. Then you can press the button again, and it'll stop recording and then power off. So that prevents you from having to turn the camera on in advance, especially at a race. You don't have to do anything with the camera or use any battery power until just before it's time to start. Now, Quick Capture doesn't work great if you're using external accessories like an external mic or a media mod or something like that, but otherwise Quick Capture works pretty well. One thing that'll kill your battery faster than almost anything is having wireless connections on. So I always make sure I have my wireless connections completely off. And the same goes for GPS. GPS is always off on my camera. With the Hero 9 Black, using these settings, I can get about 90 minutes of record time in 4K 30 frames per second, or well over 2 hours in 1080. Now let's talk about mounting location. My favorite mounting location by far is having the camera mounted on the chin bar of the helmet. This view allows you to have the handlebars and the horizon in the field of vision. Having the horizon in the shot is critical for any mounting location. We've all seen videos where the angle is way too low and they're just hard to watch. With the chin bar mount, you can see the horizon and you can also see the handlebars. I think that's the best, most realistic angle from the rider's perspective. You can also see what the bike is doing from this angle. I did make a video where I compared different mounting angles with some side-by-side videos, and I'll put a link to that video in the description. So getting the camera angle right can take some trial and error. I like to hold the helmet up in front of me like this. If you kind of make the crown of the helmet level, that's more or less going to be the riding position. And that differs with riders depending on how they ride, whether they're standing up more or sitting down more. But once I get the helmet kind of in the orientation I think it's going to be in, then I set the angle so the lens is just angled a couple of degrees downward. Now this is my new favorite helmet. This is a Climb F3 Carbon ECE. And one of the things I really like about this helmet is it's super lightweight. It's 1110 grams. Heavier helmets make my neck hurt, so I'm always looking for the lightest helmet. Another really cool thing about Climb helmets is that they make this custom GoPro mount that snaps into the chin bar. It just snaps right in. You don't have to take anything apart or remove anything. It just snaps right in there, and it's super lightweight. Prior to getting this Climb helmet, I've always used ProShot Mounts, and these mounts work really well. They're really lightweight, and they work with almost any helmet. As you can see on this helmet, a lot of times I use a heat gun to mold the ProShot. Of course, while it's not on the helmet, I've used the heat gun to mold it to fit each side of the helmet. This is a new version of the ProShot, and they've actually made some bendable areas in here, I think, to make it fit helmets more easily. But molding it with a heat gun is still an option, I think. Another mount type that I use regularly is called a SoPro Mount. I do a lot of work for Seca Racing and the Seca Racing YouTube channel. For each race, I set up a camera on a different rider, and I typically use these SoPro Mounts for that purpose because they're relatively easy to install on any helmet in a short amount of time, and then they're easy to remove when the race is done. The way these work is they have a couple of straps. You go on the helmet, the straps come around. These SoPro mounts are great for quick setup and easy removal. The only complaint that I have with them is that the buckles are really finicky. I always put a piece of tape over the buckles just to make sure they don't come loose. That covers my helmet camera setup for the most part. If you have questions or comments, please leave those down in the comment section. I'll include Amazon links to everything I've talked about here in the video description. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. That really helps me out, and thanks for watching.